I was born in the 30s and I didn't see any football for about 12 years because the war was declared. No football was played at all. But a couple of years after the war, the game that stands out in my memory was Moscow Dynamo. I don't know why, but they came to Cardiff. And that was fantastic. And I certainly wanted to get involved from there on. I had no idea whether I would have ever made the first team, but I've always felt part of Cardiff City.
It wouldn't have been Cardiff City if they weren't downs as well as the ups, of course. And then in the post-war period, Cardiff went down. I'm talking post-World War. But people still wanted their football. We've got record attendances for Cardiff City and Wales matches at Ninian Park. You're talking now about 50, 60,000 people being there.
There was something about Ninian Park that had this magic and mystique. My granddad used to tell us he was part of 50,000 standing on the Bob Bank, right? Playing Arsenal.
We used to climb up the back of the Grange end, up the drain pipe, and then obviously watch the games.
There was a smell of cigarette smoke, and it was Brute, that dreadful aftershave that your dads used to wear in the 1970s.
There were no seats on the Bob Bank, there were no floodlights, and the pitch conditions was pretty awful.
It was a mud bath, to be honest.
I think Rio Ferdinand said something like, I played in Istanbul, but Ninian Park was worse.
One of the most intimidating grounds ever. But that was what we were.
Ninian Park was iconic of being this, boisterous, loud stadium. But I think at the other end, you had this really good family-orientated club where you felt welcomed. I just remember being handed a little Bluebird flag and literally being soaked into the Cardiff City experience.
Jimmy Schooler signed me for Cardiff City in 1966, who was a great manager, to be honest. Hard as nails, signed players he wanted. He was in charge completely.
All that team, Gary Bell, Don Murray, I would say the greatest leader, captain that the club has ever had.
Most of the Cardiff players were Cardiff people. In those days, that was it.
Club stalwarts like Phil Dwyer.
My hero in the team was John Toshak, who was a Cardiff boy from Canton, who was a fantastic player at 16.
We had some great seasons at Cardiff City, great team, great mates in those days, and it was brilliant to play in that team.
Some say, of course, that in selling John Toshak, we sold any kind of ambition we had. But look, that's football, isn't it? The what-ifs, the what-if-nots, And we were very lucky because we were playing in the Welsh Cup. And if you won the Welsh Cup, you were in the European Cup Winners' Cup.
During those years, it was fantastic because they played some really, really good quality opposition.
And of course, the top end of that was when Cardiff City played Real Madrid here in Cardiff.
Well, I remember the day of the draw, to be honest. The whole city was electric.
I don't think there's a bigger club in the world than Real Madrid. Because all the tickets were sold, they didn't want to give any tickets out to apprentices, but I did get a ticket to go on the Bob Bank.
And the roar that greeted us, I've never known anything like it.
If you look back at photos, I just remember thinking, how are they all fitting in the stadium?
The official attendance that night was 47,500, but there was probably nearer 63,000 in Ninian Park that night, jam-packed full. And of course, we kicked off, and we were doing okay. And their right winger got the ball on the right wing, and I went across and did a great tackle, knocked the ball inside to Bobby Woodruff.
Nigel Rees getting the ball down the left-hand side.
He burst between two defenders, got to the byline.
Getting a great cross in.
Brian Clark came in.
Clark! Yes!
The crowd, they just went mad.
Brian Clark!
I have never, ever heard a noise like I heard then when that ball hit the back of the net. Absolutely tremendous.
I'm absolutely deafened.
And it wasn't a lucky 1-0. Cardiff thoroughly deserved to win that game, and it was an unbelievable achievement.
We were by far the better side that night, and at the end of the day we should have won 3 or 4-0, to be honest. And I'm proud to say I was part of the team that beat Real Madrid.
Beating Real Madrid, not everybody can say they've done that. And it's a story that everybody knows.
I mean, this is the stuff of legend.
That would never happen now, not unless we go on an amazing couple of years where we qualify for the Champions League.
Other than winning the FA Cup, I think that's the second greatest achievement the club has ever got, is to beat the great Real Madrid.